Hey everyone, before I get started, I just want to remind you that if you like my content, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and then join the Militiaman and Crew Patreon community by clicking the link in the caption. Hey, good afternoon everybody. Militiaman and Crew and Ophelia. She decided to come in here at the last moment and be involved for a few minutes. So anyway, when I say a few minutes, how about a few seconds? But anyway, it's hot here. Everybody knows it. You know, the weather's changing. It's the summer. I think it's 91. But anyway, one of the first articles I wanted to talk about today, it's going to be a short afternoon, you guys. It won't keep you long. This particular article just says the Parliamentary Committee Investment Law Amendment in the next legislative term. Basically, it sounds like the Parliamentary Investment Committees basically announced that they want to, their intention to amend the investment law to some extent. I think one of the things that they want to just focus in on, it is not a political issue, but they go on to say that the political situation has nothing to do with the law because it's related to the service aspect and the purpose of amending the law to be at the level of moral investment. So basically, this little bit of a put out today looks to me it's like cleanup, and the investment law needs an amendment to the effect that they're going to help the citizens in their services, and that's one of the main focuses that the government has been focused, and it's Al Sudani's plans to stick with that environment to help the citizens, and so it looks like they have been working to do so, and it's not a political issue. They say it's a moral issue, and therefore it's for the citizens' best interest, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem, like maybe the Speaker of the House or any of that stuff, which we didn't hear from today, anything about it. So we hopefully, maybe tomorrow we will, or the next day. But one day at a time, we'll just see what they give us. Soleil, the advisor to the Prime Minister on this article, the tripartite budget gave the government flexibility to implement its medium-term plans. They go on to reiterate, and his focus is that the Prime Minister advisor, Mohamed Soleil, is confirmed that the federal general budget law, number 13 for 2023, granted the executive authority high flexibility in implementing the state's medium-term financial plans for the years, of course, 23, 24, and 25. I think we're all pretty aware of that. He goes on to say that the implementation of the provisions of the Article 2-77 of the law above, which stipulates that the government shall submit financial schedules related to expenditures and public revenues that plan the deficit for the fiscal years 24 and 25. So they're talking about public revenues, expenditures that were planned as a deficit for the fiscal years 24 and 25 in order to provide flexible space that allows for the implementation of the general budget in an efficient and reliable manner, which is going to be in accordance with the content stipulated in, of course, law number 13 mentioned above. He says, overall, the Federal Ministry of Finance has a supreme financial authority in cooperation with the Ministry of Planning, which is the ministry concerned with development projects, overall investment spending, and that'll undoubtedly undertake to provide the necessary adjustments in the financial tables that will be presented for the year 2025 so that they can be studied. So hopefully what we're waiting for, the 2024 portion for the investment, the spending, the funding, possibly that new exchange rate, if they're going to, or at least disclose what they're going to use, we're going to find that out. Ministerial Council of Economy is involved, okay? And in accordance with the context stipulated by who? Well, the Federal Financial Management Law number 6 of 2019. So it's a little bit different. That goes back to 2019. As they amended the financial tables back then, in question received the approval of the Council of Ministers so that they can be approved in the House of Representatives. So they give you the hierarchy and how it rolls. Soleil notes that there is high and continuous coordination between the Parliamentary Finance Committee concerned with the follow-up and monitoring financial developments in the country and in accordance with the Constitution, and between the plans, the programs, and the mechanisms adopted by the Financial Authority in implementation, which are mutual constitutional guarantees to achieve the country's supreme interest in development and economic stability to the fullest extent. So that sounds pretty powerful. If there are continuous coordination, the Parliamentary Finance Committee, they're monitoring the financial developments within the country and the Constitution. I think that's what they're focusing on, and constitutional guarantees tells me that that's possibly directly towards the citizens' services. Okay, so that's really kind of big. Basically, they just have a lot of coordination. The Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Planning, the Ministry of Council of Economy. Why are they bringing this up now? Obviously, it has a big issue, and that's to deal with probably the 2024 budget in the investment side of it. And that's why would you be talking about doing something for 2025 and preparing for it? Because you're going to need what they do this year, right now, effectively. That's how I see it. So hopefully I'm right on that, and we'll see. The Prime Minister's advisor, he goes on to talk about the details of the government's decisions and concessions in support of industrial projects. Well, obviously the country is getting ready to go live, and they need things, for instance, possibly that investment law. They're going to probably make that amendment to cater to investors, to make it strong, and end up getting that sorted so that at the end of the day, the citizens get help. It says that Prime Minister of Industry, Development and Private Sectors Affairs, Hamoud Alami, on Friday, which is today, it says presented the most prominent government decisions and privileges granted to industrial projects, while confirming that Iraq has achieved self-sufficiency in rebar and cement. If you guys recall, there was a cement business purchased or invested in by the World Bank and the IFC. It's big, and things of that nature shows that the World Bank and their arms are invested. So you can Google that easy. I did that, and that's how I got a lot of my information on it. The recent decisions of the Council of Ministers granted many privileges to owners of industrial projects, pointing out the Prime Minister confirmed that Iraq is on the verge of establishing industrial cities in Baghdad and governance, and the cities will need large quantities of construction materials that include rebar, cement, bricks, paint, pipes, etc., etc., etc. And we heard the other day, one of the articles I posted was about copper tubing, okay, for electricity grids. So this is just another component to that. Prime Minister directed the industrialists seize this opportunity of the government support and the decisions taken by the Council of Ministers, and they are in what? It says, and to race against time. So they have a race against time. Why is that? Well, they probably got some things that they need to take care of. They probably need to get paid for. They probably have to get the ball rolling. We're talking about establishing industrial cities, okay, in Baghdad and all over the governance. So the road project, remember what al-Sudani told us. He said specifically that RTGS, real-time gross settlements, was finalized with the Central Bank of Iraq in the Gazette, and I believe that's a true statement. But that 38-page document was published, that's for sure, and that was on the 29th of April. He said he launched on the 30th. He said he was going to do that, and he did what he said he was going to do. But now they're having a race against time. At the end of this, there's probably about 4 or 5 paragraphs. I'll just let you guys read this article. I'll read the name of it again, and you can catch it in Patreon and in our Discord chat room. By the way, patreon.com/MM&Crew. That's MMANDCREW. And you can come in and check us all out, okay? But he points out that the Sudanese Prime Minister emphasized an important point, which is the expansion of the projects. And given that Iraq is embarking on projects, and those projects, they need what? More materials. So being self-sufficient in steel and cement sectors are going to matter a massive positive for the country. I mean, they are going to use their natural resources to not only mine them, they're not going to ship them out to have them processed, they're going to do it at home. So they're going to get, it's a win-win on the input and output. And basically what they're saying, being that the race is now to get started. I wouldn't be surprised if that real effective exchange rate is going to have to be part of that, and we're going to find that out. So I think last but not least, there's an article that came out this afternoon. It's America. We're working with Iraq to create a favorable environment for our companies. What about the obstacles? To this article, it says that the U.S. Commerce Department official announced that the United States is working closely with Baghdad to create a favorable environment for American companies to operate in Iraq. I think they've been working on this for quite some time, but the work of several American companies that were operating in the oil sector in the Kurdistan region stopped for more than a year. Well, that resonates, doesn't it? They stopped the oil pipeline going to Cyan for over a year, actually. So, following disputes with Baghdad regarding contracts after the decision of the arbitration panel in the International Chamber of Commerce in Paris in favor of Iraq against Turkey in March of 2023. That's how long it's been now. It says, although Erbil and Baghdad agreed to resume oil exports and under the supervision of the Federal Ministry of Oil, the companies did not resume oil production because an agreement was not reached on wages. You got to ask yourself, well, do they not sell oil in dollars, but yet they need to pay in dinar? And what exchange rate are you going to be using for those salaries into the future? Because if those wages are going to change and they're going to do contracts, they're going to need to know that. That's my view. We're working closely with Iraq's government to create a favorable environment, not only for oil companies, but also for other companies in various sectors involved in the development of Iraq. So again, probably likely directly at what are we going to pay these people to do the development projects? Are we going to pay them in dollars? Are we going to pay them in euros? Are we going to pay them in dinar? Well, the law, I believe, on the books for Iraq is that in-country and commercial work, which development will be a commercial work, they'll need to do that in the dinar. So let's see how this works out, because they haven't applied a real effective exchange rate to go international, and that's what we've been waiting for. So I have a feeling that this is why this is out at this time. Washington is working closely with Baghdad to determine the sectors in which it believes America can, or American companies have investment opportunities. And we, as they say in America, we realize that Iraq's needs are many. And we also know that the main points of the Iraqi government's economic development policy are those in which our American companies can play a role. But he continues that, quote, we continue to work with them to create an environment for our companies to be able to succeed, because we realize Iraq will also succeed in achieving its goals when our companies succeed also in Iraq. So basically what is it? Iraq's working with many countries, and here they have a focus on the oil companies between America and Iraq as they cease pumping oil for well over a year now. I would imagine the pressure between the two sides to get the environment worked out is high, to the oil sector above all. But yet there are sectors on the table as well. So I just have to wonder if the wages are such a sticking point that a new exchange rate wouldn't cure it. But we'll see. Oil is to be sold in dollars, from my understanding, like I just said a few times. Citizens, employees will be paid in dinar. But will there be will they be able to hammer this out in the very short period of time with a favorable environment to exist? I would think so, and I'm hoping that's a really good possibility. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they show us. I do like the feel I get from it in the circumstances that they're doing loose ends here and there, making sure things are in order. The legislation, I think, is they could be doing it today. They could be doing it tomorrow. As far as an amendment's concerned, as they said, it wasn't a political issue, so it's more of a moral issue to get it done for the services of the citizens. I have to say that if they have any indicator that some of these things are hinging on them, the race for time. You remember what they said in that last article? They're working now fast, hard, and in cooperation because there is a race for time. I think they do have a time frame. Did you guys remember the article about the agreements with the Development Road Project? They said that they have obligations to get things done. So in other words, they have obligations to other countries, okay? And Iraq knows full well that China is one of them, etc. Okay, so let's see what these guys have to do, and in the next couple of days, or even over the weekend. We're going to follow it as best we can. So I hope you guys enjoyed this afternoon. And hey, again, I really do appreciate everybody coming, everybody that has been helpful in support, all those people that hit the like button, all those people that subscribe, and of course all those that have been giving up their donations to PayPal and Venmo of late have been much appreciated by the crew and everybody. So thank you so much and have a great day. Once again, guys, don't forget to hit that like button if you like this content, subscribe to the channel, or join us at the Militia Man and Crew Patreon community for even more exclusive content. You can also donate to this channel by hitting the links in the banner to help keep this page up and running. Your generous support is greatly appreciated, as always. Much appreciated. Thank you so much and have a great day.